Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We hope your experience is fruitful. Please feel free to visit our website to find out how you can join our growing family. While we are loading your experience, please do us a quick favor and hit that like button from whichever platform you're watching or listening on. Also, share so others may enjoy as well. And we hope you would consider hitting that subscribe or follow button so you can check out more of our amazing content. All right, let's start the show.
You know what? He always catch me when I'm in the middle of dancing to the theme music. The theme song is real catchy and real exciting and real fun. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday, Junior. I always tell y'all, when you become an adult, the simple things like it almost being Friday mean a whole lot. All of a sudden, it's like that's all that matters in the world. I have an exciting episode today. I hope you're doing well, first and foremost. It's warm, and I'm like, oh man, this is what I get. Because for the longest, I was mad that Los Angeles had the June gloom. I was like, what's going on? And now Los Angeles is like, okay, well, we out here now. It's summertime. And I'm like, go back to the gloom because this is too much for me. But it's okay. It's summertime. It's Friday, Junior. I'm just happy to be here. Glad you're here. We're going to jump into this amazing episode. As you know, I am in school for the third and final time. And actually, it might not be the final time because I still think I do want to go to nail school, which I think I might be a nail tech in my next, career iteration. School has been amazing. It's been almost 20 years since the last time I was in school. Jump forward to this time. I'm going to bring some people on that I have walked this journey with so far. I think this whole idea of lifting as we climb is super duper important. It really speaks to sort of how important it is for sisterhood, for connections, for community, and especially when you're doing something like going to school and particularly doing a doctoral program. So I really believe that it is our responsibility. I say it is our responsibility and obligation to light a path for our sisters that are coming behind us, who are walking alongside us. We need to show up, right, for them. So tonight we're going to do just that. I have 4 sister friends from my cohort joining us tonight. I'm going to tell you their names. Those 2 of them are in the picture right there. And we're going to have a great time. But let me tell you their names, and then we're going to go ahead and bring them on. So let me just read, because one of them, I'm going to name her first, baby, because let me tell you what she did. Sis came up into this program and wasn't playing with nobody. Okay, sis had her own agenda. Sis had her own path. And remember, I told y'all about staying in your lane. So I saw another quote recently that said something like, there's no traffic when you stay in your lane and mind your business. And she stayed in her lane, minded her business, got her work done. She's 2 semesters ahead of all of us. She is Dr. Teresa Exum Lucas. She already defended her dissertation. Okay, and she's done. So listen, the upside of that is, baby, because I'm gonna be like, can you tell me the answer to the quiz that we take in the next class? Because you already took the class. This is valuable. We like her. So Teresa's here. We have Brandy. We have Erin and Josette, aka Josie. I don't think I've ever called her Josette in my entire time that I've known her. But anyway, let's bring on cohort 21, the sister friends of cohort 21. Oh, see, he always catch me in the midst of my dancing music. I get so excited, and then I'm like, see, you pay me close like that. How are y'all?
Good.
Doing good.
How are y'all? Like,
We're tired, but we're good.
What you mean tired? What you mean tired? No, I feel you. It's Friday Junior though, so I think that kind of hopefully makes y'all feel a tiny bit better. So I know it's quite a few of us on the screen. I want to just take a moment to hear from you. Name, city, and one word that describes how you feel about being or on the way to being. The rest of us are on the way to being. Somebody already is. One of the 4.4% of Black women with a doctorate degree. I want to hear that from y'all. So name, city, and how you feel. Brandy, boom.
Sure. So my name is Brandy Mabry. I live in the Metro Atlanta area, and one word I would go with destined.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay, Josie.
Hi, Josie. I am a New York native. I'm currently in LA, and actually, the one word I would say is oblige.
You might have to define that because I'm not smart. What like Mary J. Blige?
Like when I think about as I'm nearing the program, I think like what is next, right? Like how, and it's very similar to your intro around sort of bringing up the uplifting others, bringing up the next the next folks who will be on this journey. So it's really about how am I adding value to others? How do I continue to learn from others and through others? So that's kind of how that's why I chose that word.
Okay, I like it. I'm about to go look at that child. Aaron.
I know, no pressure having me go after Josie. So what's going on, y'all? So I'm Erin, and I kick it from coast to coast. So you can find me somewhere between Charlotte and California. And I would say one word that's probably a good summation of the program would be like elitist.
Okay. And Dr. Teresa Lucas, I already hyped you up. I hope
I
you
love
heard
it. I love it. I did.
So, who are you, city, and one word that describes how you feel about being one of the 4.4, and maybe you actually brought the number up to 4.5% of Black women with a doctorate degree. How does that feel? And before you answer, I'm gonna say this too. You know how on your birthday they be like, "Do you feel any different?" And it's like, "No."
Yeah.
Do you? I want to ask you, do you feel different now? That was like yesterday and today. Is there like a difference in how you feel?
Well, okay. I'm Teresa Exum Lucas. I live in Long Beach, California. And my one word is powerful. I feel like, although I've always been powerful, this helps other people to see how powerful I truly am, which I love. And I don't feel different yet. Like, I think it's going to hit this weekend. It just hasn't really hit yet.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's fair. I can understand that. Like, okay, not yet, but and maybe when the diploma. No, that's too far away. No, it'll probably come before.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, maybe the graduation party. I don't know. It'll come soon, but it's not here yet.
It's gonna come. Okay. Well, thank y'all for humoring me on that. And still, let me make a note to look up oblige. Josie over here got us over. I'm like, what? Child, somebody, whoever's watching in the chat, can you throw put the definition of oblige in the thing so I can see? Hey, Andreas. Yay. Andreas is one of our colleagues from cohort 21 up in the Bay Area. Woo-woo. I'm so happy to see that he's listening and watching us. I think motivation is a good place to start this conversation, y'all. What was the catalyst, the driving force, the thing that said to you, I am going to apply to this program and pursue a degree? And I don't know, probably the degree idea probably came first and then what school came second, but I'm really interested in hearing what the catalyst was. Who wants to jump in and answer? Oh, thank you, Lord. Wow. Thank you. Because I'm like, Mary J. Blige. You like, no. All right. I should make you push the thing to pronounce it. All right. Who wants to talk about the motivation and the catalyst for even getting into doctorate, right? A lot of us stop at master's degree. Oh, did he do it? Do it. Did he hit the button for the sound? Okay. Anyway. Y'all, go ahead.
Well, I don't mind jumping in first. I think mine is a little different. I would say it was kind of like a combination, like for the culture in the kingdom. Like, obviously, to see someone who is a Black woman who's not only successful in venture capital, but also a doctor, I think is huge. I grew up in a place where there wasn't just an abundance of Black excellence. And I think as a mother, it's so important for me to normalize Black excellence, not only like for my family, but other little brown skinned girls who need to see someone excelling in like a myriad of different fields. And I would say secondary, I mean, for the kingdom, I think it's so important, at least for me, as I get older, to have so much adversity come and then still be able to like persevere through that, and people be able to look through that and see, okay, cool, that was totally like fate that elevated her to that platform, because she's a hot mess. So there's absolutely no way that she accomplished that on her own. So I think just being example in both of those arenas, at least for me, are going to be the primary drivers for success.
I love that culture in the kingdom. I love that, and I love that all of us sometimes as Black women have that thing where we put the little words and the phrases together, like boom, culture in the kingdom. Love that, and that says so much. I mean, I know you, Erin, but then like now I feel like I really know you. Like, oh my gosh, girl, we got to talk. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Who wants to go next?
I can go. Mine is pretty similar to Erin's. I think it's so important to see folks who look like us reach the top of the top, right? And I've also had a career in higher education for the last 12 years. And to get to a certain level in higher education, you need to have a doctorate. So I kind of always knew that that was something I would pursue. I looked at a few different programs. I actually started the process back in 2017 and waited for the right time. And I think it was because USC was such a diverse program online and how they portrayed it. I decided that that was the best fit for me so that I could be with people who looked like me and thought like me. Because I know even though it's important for us to be an example for someone else, we also need that village while we do it.
Yeah. And you know, that it's funny that you say that, Teresa. I was kind of trying to count through my, just in my mind. I feel like there are 9 Black women. It may be more, but I kind of was trying to count through. I feel like we have 9 Black women in our program. And I didn't get a chance to think about how many Black men. But I feel like for me, I was very impressed at that level of diversity. I didn't expect it. I don't know if anybody else had that kind of thought. I didn't expect to see that. And I'm actually glad. And it'd be interesting to even talk to SC, like what was the intention behind that. Now, we ain't gonna talk too much about USC like that, but they're a special place and have an interesting, reputation for good, bad, or worse. But I will say, at least in this instance, I was surprised and very much impressed by the level of diversity in our program. So I just kind of shout out kudos. They ain't gonna get that many kudos from me, but I give them that. Y'all can have that kudo, but that's it. Just one kudo. Brandy, anything you want to talk about? Your motivation, your catalyst, your driving force?
Yeah, of course. So mine is really very, very simple, as in this is just who I am. I have, since I was a kid, been such a bookworm, a school fanatic, like one of those kids. I was that person. I begged to learn how to read, and I just have always loved to go to school, to the point where it's almost bittersweet that this will probably be like my last go round with school. As tiring as it is, I really just enjoy the process of it. My goal in any capacity is always to, be that representation and that change agent, whether it's in the workspace, recreationally, when we talk about body image, just being that representation for underpopulated people that are not shown in certain spaces. So I think that goes, of course, without saying, to add on to what Erin and Teresa said. I think that's totally relevant and valid. But for me, it just boiled down to, I love school and I love books and I love reading and I love studying and learning new things. And so I always knew that I would be here. So it's kind of why I chose that word destined. Like, it's always been meant for me to be here.
Yeah. And it's funny how much I realized I enjoyed, especially the dissertation. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I enjoy writing and spending all that work. It's a little bit stressful, but the discovery, the aha moments, Josie know, because we be in the library. And I'm like, what? Wait a minute. And she probably like, will she be quiet? I can't write nothing because she keep talking.
Are you listening, Teresa? Are you listening?
I am.
No, listen. No, I don't say it. No. Anyway, but the discoveries, the things that come up, the epiphanies, like, wait a minute. For one thing, for me is I'm not crazy, especially because of what I'm studying. Like, okay, I'm not tripping because the literature is actually backing up what I've experienced. And then just sort of like, well, what I'm doing is actually important. I know they try to say, well, your dissertation is not going to change the world. I don't know, it might, because there's some stuff that's happening that should not be happening. But yeah. Okay, Josie, don't be telling on me to Teresa.
I think mine is kind of similar to Brandy's in that learning for me and education has always been instilled in me, especially I'm an immigrant. I didn't grow up with my parents. That education was the key, right? It was a key to excellence. It was a key to success, to freedom. And my grandmother really sort of drilled that into my head. And I just have always enjoyed the learning experience. And, I had this really sort of deep intellectual curiosity that needed to be fulfilled. And to be honest, during COVID times, it was like my heart just sort of called for it. Like, now has been the right time because I've been really thinking about it for so long. And I remember like one of our first classes where, to your point, Nicole, I think all of you were in my first class, and I was like, oh my God, look at all these beautiful brown women. I snuck and took a picture, and I was texting my friends like, oh my God, this is amazing. And so it's been, so it's been a really sort of rich experience for me. So I'm happy I'm on this journey with you all.
Yeah. It's been an amazing journey, honestly. And I'm like, you remember the first class, child? I don't remember nothing except what's going on right now. And maybe like the first immersion, I remember that. But other than that, it's like a blur. Everything has gone by so quickly. So let me ask you, I have a question. Let's see if we can do this. Who can explain their dissertation or problem of practice in 5 words or less? Come on, Dr. Lucas. Can you do it?
We owe Black children an education.
Ooh.
6 words, but I'm gonna give it to y'all anyway.
Yeah, no, you got it. No, that's it. Okay, Erin, can you do it?
Oh, I just knew you were gonna make me go second. Okay, let's see. I would say probably a good summary. Black women in tech matter.
Okay. I feel like these are like t-shirt. Like we need postcards, something, because like all of these things are so, and it's like I get it as soon as you say it. I get it. Okay, Josie, come on.
I don't think I have 5, maybe 6.
Okay.
Cheating a little bit, but I think it's Black women aren't elevating into leadership.
Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing is, you and I, even though our topics are different, lot of like, wait a minute. And I'm like, here, use this article here. Yes. Because we were starting to see the connections on a lot of those things. So that's crazy. All right, Brandy.
Fat phobia, Black women in healthcare.
Okay. Ooh.
That's a good one, Brandy.
That. Wait a minute.
I didn't know either. Wow,
wait a damn minute. Oh,
that's a whole different episode, Nicole.
Have that come back. Girl. I'm not going to try to do mine. You guys skip over me. But mine is about the workforce, the Black people that work in the government. They get dogged out real bad. So, and it kind of, like, again, me and Josie have some commonalities. It really doesn't impact how we sort of promote up, if we promote up at all. Makes things really hard. And it's really disheartening because these institutions often have equity for all, those kinds of things in their mission and vision statements, but it doesn't really play out that way. So that's what I'm focused on. I'm really excited because I feel like I'm about to find out some things. Yeah. All right. Kwame, is it time for a commercial or am I talking? What we doing? I don't see my notes on the side over here. My little show notes. Oh, this is what I probably need to do. Okay. Okay, let's go to commercial.
This episode is sponsored in part by Bullet and Flight Radio. Get ready to uplift your spirit with Bullet and Flight Radio, the world's leading progressive Christian radio station. Experience the vibrant fusion of gospel house music and a rich medley of inspiration from all musical genres that'll make your heart soar. Join their extraordinary lineup of today's trailblazers, visionaries, and voices that matter, all sharing their stories and wisdom. Stay plugged in around the clock as they broadcast unmissable content 24/7. Your go-to station for all things inspiring. Become a pilot today by visiting bulletandflightradio.com. Bullet and Flight Radio. Your story, our station.
We're back. So, listening to all of you talk about your dissertations, your problem of practice, some themes, right? Black women, Black people. And it just reminded me a few months ago, actually last year, I can't remember my sense of time is toe up still from COVID, but I had a researcher, her name is Dr. AJ. She came on a while back, and we were talking about some research that she had done on self-care among Black women. And it just reminded me that it's really important for people that look like us to be in these spaces because we are able to uplift, right? We're able to bring stuff to the literature. If you end up publishing your journal, your articles into a research journal, it brings important research to the literature that has not been there before, right? Been primarily dominated by white men. So I don't know if you want to kind of chat about that a little bit, what your thoughts are on that. Like, we are literally researchers and scholars at this point in time, and our work can really change the course of how research is done, and who it's done on, and what we're thinking about and what we're looking at. So I just want to open that up for y'all, and then we'll move on to our next topic. Anybody have any thoughts?
Well, y'all know I always have thoughts, sometimes too many of them. And thinking about this topic, Nicole, and like self-care and like the importance of being really focused on a specific vision, I thought about the power of saying no and how it relates to self-care. I think from a colloquial standpoint, we say self-care is like, go get your nails done, get your hair done, get a massage. All that stuff is so important. But I think because of like the systemic like fragmentation of the Black family unit, a lot of times as Black women, we consume everything so that nothing falls through the cracks. And I think part of being able to focus on this work is the ability to say, no, not today.
Right.
That is going to fall through the cracks. You cannot do this. I cannot support you here because I need to be laser focused on me, my mission, my vision, my goals. And that's sort of my 2 cents on maybe just an unconventional take on self-care and how it really relates to fulfilling yourself so that you can fulfill the mission, if that kind of makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. I think even to your point, this idea of rest, right, as revolution is also something that has become more uplifted in recent years. And it's a Black woman who has been really sort of leading that, right, that conversation. And it goes back to that key point I'm making, that we need to be in these spaces so that we can drive those kinds of research, you know, or that kind of programming, that kind of perspective. Otherwise, everything just starts to look the same, right? And I don't know if anyone else had any other thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think for my work in studying Black students, the research was overwhelmingly deficit-based, saying that Black students were achieving less than non-Black students because of the Black family system, because of Black culture, because of just genetics. You know, it was just nonsense, right? And I think it's because there aren't enough Black voices in that space to be able to say that's not true. And so I think it's so important that we're doing this work, that someone's going to see a Black face next to our journal articles and our conferences and everything else, because it makes it more normal. Like someone said earlier, I think Erin, it makes it feel like it's an everyday thing. And that's what we need to get to for folks to really believe in Black culture and Black people.
Yeah, absolutely. Josie?
I also think that we need to be mindful, and maybe I'm just sort of the moment of vulnerability here, but like on this journey to remember that joy, right? To remember the why we're here, because whether it be trying to juggle everything that we're juggling in life, or just the nature of some of the research, you know, like researching Black women, their experiences, it's not positive. A lot of the work is just not positive, or it's not, you know, specifically focused on Black women. It's more like either women or Black people, or, you know, what have you. And so I think it's just, I had to remind myself to find that joy and remember my why in this journey, because I do think it's really, really important work that can impact many.
Yeah.
And, sorry, Nicole, I apologize. I was gonna, kind of piggyback on what Josie was saying. As we were doing the work, we were reading about the lived experiences of Black women. It's also a lot of beauty from that pain, right? Like where we started, where we're headed, and then also we kind of do a little benchmark about where we are now. So I totally agree and share those sentiments about the ability to reflect, but then also have such an immense amount of hope for the future of Black women.
Yeah. Randy.
If I may just add to what Erin said, because I think that's an amazing point, and something that I'm sure her and I have both been reading about in Black feminist thought is like the power of kinship amongst Black women. What a representation this is, that in the program we were able to just like find each other and find that kinship. And so it's finding like that beauty and that power from a potentially painful place, or from being, left out of other places, or, not given a seat at the table. Then it becomes, okay, well, we're going to either make our own table or figure out how we can collectively get to that space. And I think in terms of my own problem of practice, I see this so much, the lack of representation in the literature. If I've read 200 articles, 2 of them may have been about actual like fat phobia of Black women in healthcare. And I don't exaggerate in saying that there's nothing out there. So I'm piecing together, this piece about fat phobia, this piece about women, this piece about healthcare and Black women, and just trying to pull all of these things together because there's nothing there. And so I'm very, very honored to be able to create from this space, because I know that it's needed. It's experiences that I've had, that family members and friends have had, and that's happening every single day. And the fact that there's no one, in these spaces that are addressing these things that look like us, like it's so needed. And I pray that I'm not the last.
Yeah. Something you said, Brandy, and is perfect segue. You talked about kinship and sort of seeking that community. And I have to say this to all of you that are watching or listening. Our program is mostly online. We have 2 immersions, one that first year and I guess one the second year, I guess. We have literally only met each other in person twice, and yet have been able to create a community. Now, some of us are local. Josie, me, and Teresa are local. We probably see each other more often because we're like right here. I see Josie every week because we be at the library, child, for 7 hours a day. But like, I just want us to speak to that community, because, and I'll say this, I'm in other Facebook groups with people getting their doctorate degrees, and sometimes they're like, yeah, I'm doing self-study. Because somebody was like, oh my God, all this reading, how do you do the reading? I'm like, girl, get a reading group. She was like, we're self-study. I'm like, what's that? I don't even know what that is. And so I don't take it for granted that what we have built is unique. And again, I'll give a kudo to the school for kind of creating that. But at the same time, we have to give ourselves kudos because we literally sought each other out. But I don't know if you want to speak to that kinship, and thank you, Brandy, for putting a word to that. Anybody, any thoughts on that? Like, wow.
Yeah, I was really happy when Brandy said kinship, because I have to admit, when I started the program or was just researching the program, I thought I'm just going to go through this and go about my business. I never thought that I would develop like deep friendships, and you develop closer friendships with others. But sometimes I just get a text to say, "How you doing? How's your writing going?" And these are from people who I don't really have very close relationship, but they care about this journey, and they care about you. And it has also made me a lot less selfish, because it really, it has built this just lovely community, and it reminds me just how beautiful Black people are to each other, and just the importance of that community.
Yeah, for sure. I'm like, Josie, you ain't selfish.
Right, not at all.
I'm like, what you talking about? Anyone else want to talk about the sisterhood? All I think about is that time we was at 1010 Wine Bar. I'm not gonna talk about what we talked about. But we was at the wine bar and we had a good time. We was connected.
We had too good of a time.
I'll definitely share. This was such an amazing experience for me. So I did not grow up in a very diverse place. And so I was consistently in a situation where if there were like 2 or more Black women, like automatically we had to be at each other's throats. And I was just like, I'm just not one for like competition like that. So coming into this program, I didn't really know what to expect. And I'm an introvert by nature, unless it's business related, then I turn into a psycho. But like just general things, I'll just stay quiet and like stay in the corner. So I am like eternally grateful, because I was just in my own little bubble, and Brandy walks up to me, she's like, hey girl, I like your shoes. And I was like, okay, so it was just so, and then like I think I was trying to like sneak away, and then Teresa's like, Erin, come over here, are you in this group? And I was like, oh no, I don't really like people. And she's like, no, you're gonna join this group anyway. And I'm like, okay, cool. So it was just such a great for me from a development standpoint. And it was a learning experience to literally just be in a program, in a subgroup where it was all love. It's funny, it's jokes, it's lifting each other up. It's like having tough conversations, but then also they're coming from a loving place. And again, to echo your sentiments, Nicole, it's awesome to have that when we're so spread out. So for me, it literally was like revolutionary, the way that I see just Black support, Black kinship, Black excellence just manifesting and growing with a group of people that you really don't have that much history with, right? So.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely agree. And I think, Erin, it's hilarious that was our first interaction, because I am probably the most introverted person that I know. But when I feel a pull towards a person, I also honor that, so I'm like, okay, there's a reason why I'm feeling like I should go say something. And obviously there was, and there's a reason that we're all here today together in this space. And I always want to honor that. And I think also just there's a knowingness amongst Black women, so those moments in class when something happens, whether it's a celebration of sorts, because like you see a win amongst us, or whether it's a microaggression that may have happened, we have that like look, like your eyes immediately go to the girls and you're like,
just like this.
Right.
Like, child.
There's this sense of this knowing, this camaraderie, this I have your backness that just exists, that I think really, really builds the connection in such a beautiful way.
Yep. Teresa, anything?
I'm very similar to Erin. I grew up in a mostly white environment, probably like 90% white environment. And I wasn't around a large group of Black folks, like in a friendship community, until college. And I went to college in Iowa, which is a very white state. Okay. And it was very similar to this program where we saw each other in the cafeteria and it was like, Black people, let's go. Right. And I feel like that was the same with this cohort. We saw each other in class, but then once we saw each other at immersion, we all just kind of like magnetized towards each other, and we've been like that ever since. And I love every minute of it.
It's been amazing. I want to shout out a friend of mine, Dina, left a comment in the chat that showed up. Shout out to her. She said, I had a professor my first semester into my doctoral program that told us we are living in our passion. Yes, it is for sure not an easy road, but it can be done. So thankful for completing my journey. Dina is amazing. I have to make sure, maybe I'll bring her along to graduation or something. She's awesome. And really glad to have her here. I told some of my friends that have their degrees already, come in the chat, leave some pearls of wisdom for the rest of us that are still, on our way. Because, it is a lot of work. It is hard work. So I got a quick game. I know we're running out of time, but I want to ask y'all to pick a number. Well, let's see. Josie first. Pick a number between 1, 2, or 3.
3.
Okay. So I want you to tell me the bad of the program. Anything.
I think one of the bad is that I didn't see a lot of representation with the professors, especially a program that is really framed around social justice.
Yeah.
And so I was really shocked at just the lack of representation.
I don't like Josie. Okay. Josie, pick somebody else. Pick someone in the group.
Brandy, I'll pick you.
Okay, Brandy, pick a number 1, 2, or 3.
1.
The good. Share a good thing.
A good thing outside of things that we have talked about. I think there's a lot of space in this program and in this process for you to explore what you really love. So I think, we've all done a bachelor's and probably a master's up until this point. And so in your bachelor's, it's like you have to do what they say. And then in your master's, you can get like right to the content. And in this, It's like, hey, we're going to give you a couple tools and then you decide what you care about, And so I really just love that level of autonomy. I think that's really, really cool that you get to explore and research what you care about.
Yeah. Okay, Brandy, pick somebody that hasn't gone yet.
Right. Dr. Lucas.
Okay, Dr. Lucas. My bad. I had put on my notes that you go first, but it's all right. That's me. That's on me. 1, 2, or 3.
3.
Okay. You just want to talk about the bad stuff. Bad.
Oh, okay. Josie did such a good one for that. I don't know if it's as much a bad as room for improvement, but I would like to see folks be able to get together more often, and for one of those to be funded by the program.
I like that. I like that. Okay, Erin, you're the last one. 1, 2, or 3.
Number 1, baby.
Good. Pick a good thing. Let's talk.
Oh, there's just so many to choose from. No sarcasm in my voice at all. Let's see. Well, I'm going to be like super selfish. I would say probably one of the best things that has happened to me in this program is a lot of exposure to an array of ideas. I work in a very, very, very insulated environment. And so everyone that I'm surrounded around, we're all thinking about the same thing in the same wavelength, and we have the same goal. And even though it can be so frustrating, sometimes we'll have discussion. I'm like, what an idiot. But not so much, because their opinion was shaped by a series of events in their life, right? So it's on me as another human to honor that and learn from it and dig deeper and ask why. And day to day, I'm not challenged to dig deeper and ask why. It's like very clear cut. But when someone says something, I'm kind of like, huh? I'm intrigued. And I think that's probably one of the best things ever, is just the diversity of ideas and backgrounds that we bring to the program.
Right. Now, none of y'all picked number 2. Number 2 was ugly. The good, the bad, the ugly. Ooh. So I'll mention.
Well, we could go into racist professors, but we don't have time for that.
I mean, so I'll say this for the ugly. Like every other institution in this country, and I guess you could argue around the world, we'll just stick with the U.S., founded in white supremacy culture. So it just goes without saying that there are some things, as Erin kind of alluded to, that will play out the way that were designed to play out. People say the system is broken. It is not. It's working as intended. So I will say that as an ugly, that sometimes we were given very real life examples of a system in the United States working as it was intended to, which was to place, or try to place. I'm going to say try, because you ain't going to put me down nowhere, but you understand what I'm saying? Try to kind of place us underneath and put some people above. So I'll leave that at that for the ugly. We are getting ready to close. Any final words? Anybody that is trying to get into school, wants to get their doctorate degree, a Black woman, what would you say to them right now? In as few words as possible, because I still got to close out and do other things.
Okay, I got something quick.
Okay, go, Brandy. Go ahead.
Okay. This is a quote from Zora Neale Hurston. Learning without wisdom is a load of books on a donkey's back.
Ooh.
That's not a donkey.
Wait, can you say that again? Can you say it one more time?
Learning without wisdom is a load of books on a donkey's back.
Yes. Yes.
That's an entire word.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we could just end there, but anybody else? Any piece of knowledge, information that you want to share?
I would say just do it for sure, and ask for help. I mean, there's 5 of us right here. If you have no one else in your life, email one of us, contact somebody. Just do it.
Absolutely. Josie, Erin?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, which is just do it, but do it with intention and understand what your goals are and your why, and be prepared to enjoy, but it's also going to be a challenge. So I think, you go into it with eyes wide open, but at the end, I think it is absolutely worth it.
Absolutely. Erin?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like my 2 cents is kind of like a summation of everyone. Like, it's definitely going to kick your butt. Like, I don't want to lie and be like, oh girl, it's a walk in the park. No, it sucks and you don't sleep a lot. But definitely the outcome and the edification is worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank all of you. We're going to go ahead and close out. Thank you all for being here, being my guest tonight. All of you that are watching, thank you for being here as well. Don't forget, you can visit me on all my social media channels. I got all of them. I even have threads now. I don't know what I'm doing on there, but it's okay. So check me out, TikTok, Instagram, all of the things. It's all Nicole D. Vick. TikTok is the one where I'm the most myself. Like I be saying stuff, I be cussing. The birds had pooped on my car. I was mad. I was cussing. So if you want to see that part of Nicole, that's TikTok. You can also visit my website, www.nicoledvick.com. If you need me to speak at your event, you need me to facilitate a training, you need me to do whatever, I go to the website, have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. You can see podcast episodes there. You can see all of the stuff that I've done. My books are there. I have 2 books, Pushing Through, Finding the Light in Every Lesson. And then I also have my guided journal, Push Through 52 Weeks of Light in Tough Times. You need a journal? There you go, baby. It's got quotes. I should have put that one that Brandy said. I might have to do another one and add that one in there because, child, that was something. But anyway, I thank you so much. Thank you all for being here tonight. I will see the rest of you out there in the world next week. We'll do a recap of this episode and talk about what's next. So, all right, y'all. Take care. Happy Friday, Junior, and bye.
Bye.